What's going on, everyone? So the thing that I'm probably most excited for, LeBron being back, outside of LeBron being back, and how is this going to look and making the Lakers just a better team overall? Because again, we're not better without LeBron James. It's the bench, right? So last year, Lakers were dead last in bench scoring. This year, if I'm not mistaken, they are dead last in bench scoring, right? So now context is important. This season, almost all the guys that are coming off the bench all have been starting because we've had so many injuries, right? We've had, LeBron all season, right? Gabe Vincent's missed most of the time. You've had Rui and Marcus Smart and Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic and Adu Thero, and right? So we've had like half this team miss, a significant amount of time throughout the course of this season thus far. So it's understandable that, hey, the bench isn't going to be super great because, like, when Jake LaRavia has a 25-point game, he's doing that as a starter, right? Like, those things are very different. Rui Hachimura, right? Going from starting to coming off the bench, I think is going to be huge for this Lakers team. So I'm really excited to see kind of, and I'm not saying that the Lakers are going to have the best bench in all of basketball or anything like that, but I do think that they're going to be much better. I don't think that they're going to be near the bottom. I think you're going to have a lot of success of guys coming off the bench now, because again, guys like Rui Hachimura, who was a starter, if he can continue to maintain, he can continue to play to the level that we've seen him play, right, off the bench, now you got a 15 to 17 point a game night guy coming off the bench. I mean, that alone, right? And not just that, but if he can be more of a focal point offensively, because he is coming off the bench, and maybe he can be a 17 point a game guy or something like that, right? Like, again, that just gives you, now you have a guy that could be in the conversation for six man, things like that, right? Like now Jake LaRavia, when he's having a great night, right? Like that's bench points, that's bench production. His defense, bench production. Same thing with Gabe Vincent and Jared Vanderbilt and all these things. So, Jared Vanderbilt has a game where he has that 14 points, right? He's not starting that game. He's coming off the bench that game. So now it's that. So now all of a sudden it's like, man, you might have 40 points, scattered throughout from the bench guys. Right? Because, you think about it, right? Rui could go get you 15, let's say, right? You could get, another, say, 6 from, Hayes, right? Get another 8 to 10 from, Jake LaRavia, right? So that you're basically at 30 between those three guys. Gabe Vincent can go get you, 8 to 12 on any given night, especially games that he's super hot, right? So then there's, you're basically at 40 with those guys. It's not counting like whatever Jared Vanderbilt trickles in, right? You have 5 guys that are all giving you, roughly 6 to 8 points a night. And then Rui giving you, another 15 or whatever, right? Like now, again, all of a sudden you got 30 to 40 points of bench production. Not counting like the nights that guys go off for super. So I think offensively, Lakers could end up being, especially again, if guys like Rui Hachimura can kind of, help continue to play to the level in which he's been playing. And then you add in guys just, again, being fully healthy. And then that's not counting, you play Dalton Connect randomly and he goes off. Or Adu Thero goes and gets you 8 points. Or, Maxi Kleber hits a couple threes on a night, right? Like you just now have, more depth, more versatility, more everything. Because again, a lot of guys that have been starting and have been playing well as starters are now all going to go to the bench. Now, in a perfect world, right? You would want all of those guys to play as well as they did as starters, off the bench. And it usually doesn't work that way, right? Like, guys like Jake LaRavia playing 30 minutes a night are probably not playing that many minutes, right? There's probably going to be much fewer games where he's doing that. So now he's probably getting 22 minutes or whatever. You have guys like, Rui Hachimura, does he continue to play 40 minutes a night? Or does he drop to like 25 minutes, right? Like, all these things. And then not just that, but again, the role that you're playing. You also, which is a concern and definitely something worth noting, is guys like Rui, for example. We have seen him kind of check out when he gets sent to the bench and he plays a bench role, right? Now, he has said that he's okay with it and that, hey, to him, it's about the minutes and, who closes and stuff. But how often is he going to close with this Lakers team is the question, right? Because, assuming that the starters are, Luka Reeves, Marcus Smart, LeBron James, and DeAndre Ayton, right? How often is Rui going to start? Now, maybe those games Rui's just lights out, playing phenomenal, whatever. Those games, yeah, sure, right? Rui's got 25. Like, let the guy keep going. Like, yeah, you close with the hot hand. Reward the hot hand. Same thing with like a Jake LaRavia. Same thing with like a Gabe. Anybody, right? Like, if somebody's cooking that night, don't ride the hot hand. Don't punish the guy. Like, no, hey, you're closing tonight. Hey, Luka, you're defending the 3. We're going with Gabe Vincent at the point. Austin Reeves at the 2, Luka at the 3, LeBron at the 4, Ayton at the 5 for. Because Gabe Vincent's playing so well. Or, whatever. If Jared Vanderbilt's 5 of 6 from 3-point range on a random night. It's like, yeah, like, dude, hey, there we go. We're closing with Jared Vanderbilt, right? He's slotting in at your 3, right? Like, so, again, I think you judge it accordingly based on kind of like, again, the production, like who's playing what. But more often than not, your 5 starters of Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, Marcus Smart, LeBron James, and DeAndre Ayton are probably closing most of those nights. So my concern is like, do guys like Rui Hachimura, do they check out? I'm not really worried about Jake LaRavia, guys like that, because they've been coming off the bench anyway. A lot of these games, even, they'll start one game and then come off the bench the next. And then also, again, I think that they knew going into the season that, hey, I'm going to be, 6th, 7th, 8th guy coming off the bench, right? Like, I don't think that the expectation, like, yeah, you might have a chance to start, but, there is that, right? And then also it just depends on, how do you trickle guys in? How, like, what is your lineup and rotation, right? Like, because, again, like, Jackson Hayes plays really well off of Luka. So I would do things where, Jackson Hayes is playing more minutes. So if Jackson Hayes is playing 10 minutes, I would have almost all 10 minutes alongside Luka Doncic, right? Because that's going to maximize and get the best out of Jackson Hayes, right? So, you're playing 10 minutes with Luka and Ayton, or Luka and Hayes, and then maybe playing more Reeves, LeBron, and Ayton together type thing, right? To where Ayton, and not just that, but Austin Reeves' connection with Ayton. I even mentioned this in, after that Bucks game, that like Austin Reeves and Ayton really have a great connection. I mean, he was picking teams apart with Ayton. And I think a lot of that has to do with just they've gotten more minutes together. They played more together, right? Because, Luka missed time. So I think it's just that. But again, so if I'm JJ, I need to identify those kind of level points, right? Like identify like, okay, Ayton and Reeves are playing really well together, so I should probably use those two together the most to really maximize those two. Obviously, those guys are starters, but right, it's just an example. Will Jackson Hayes and Luka Doncic really have thrived? Who does Jake LaRavia play best off of? Like Rui, like I would have Luka, Rui, and Ayton, or and Hayes. Those 3 guys, like Rui has played really well and has thrived very nicely off of Luka Doncic, right? So if it's me, based on like what we've seen in the data and all that stuff, I'm having Luka, Rui, and then Jackson Hayes, and then who are those other guys? Is it Jared Vanderbilt? Is it Jared Vanderbilt and Drew Thero? Is it Gabe Vincent and Jared? Like, again, finding those kind of like who are those other fillers? But we know Rui plays really well off of Luka. Jackson Hayes plays really well off of Luka. So let Luka maximize those guys to the highest level. Now, those 2 guys are going to be the best versions of themselves. Again, DeAndre Ayton, Jake LaRavia, those guys, okay, have been playing really well off of Austin Reeves. Okay, then those 3 guys need to be on the court with Austin Reeves, right? Like, so, again, it's just kind of understanding your team. And again, there's going to be a lot of trial and error. There's going to be, I imagine, some experimentation right now. Guys are coming back. You're finally starting to get fully healthy, or it's looking that way, knock on wood. So hopefully things keep trending in that positive direction. You're able to start to figure out and carve out some things here as a team, start to really carve out your rotation, find out like, okay, what are our like 3 best 5-man lineups? Right, you have your starting 5 with, again, Austin Reeves, or Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, Marcus Smart, LeBron James, and DeAndre. Okay, well, what's the second best? Maybe it might be Luka Doncic, Marcus Smart, Jake LaRavia, Rui Hachimura, and Jackson Hayes. Okay, well then that's the 5. That's Luka's 5. So we have the starter 5, we have the Luka 5. Okay, what is our third best? Okay, maybe that one is Austin Reeves, DeAndre Ayton, LeBron James, Adu Thero, and Jared Vanderbilt. Right. And it's like, man, okay, because they're able to mask Austin Reeves. Like it gives you like finding those, like, hey, what are these 5-man lineups? And then maximizing those and running those little sets so you're getting the most out of each player each night, different matchups, so on and so forth, to where now you might look up and it's like, man, Lakers are top 10 bench in basketball, right? And it's like, wow, what a drastic turnaround, right? Because you have guys like Rui and stuff like that. It also gives you time to evaluate and see kind of what guys are making it, what guys aren't. So you can start making those decisions accordingly to now flip into various moves to further upgrade and level up this roster. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass the question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me not. If you enjoy these types of videos, truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.